It's the spring of 1976, and the Formula One world is poised for another classic duel. Ferrari's Niki Lauda is defending his title, regarded as one of the sport's most cerebral and ruthlessly efficient drivers. His closest challenger? The charismatic British racer James Hunt, driving for McLaren, a man whose flamboyant personality could hardly be more different from Lauda's calculated discipline. Lauda's season begins in dominant fashion. Race after race, he's quick, precise, and seemingly untouchable. By midsummer, he's built a commanding lead. But as the championship caravan rolls into Germany for the storied Nürburgring Grand Prix, the world is about to witness one of the most harrowing moments in Formula One history. On August 1st, the unthinkable happens. Lauda crashes violently in the opening laps of the race. His Ferrari careens off track, bursts into flames, and he's trapped inside. Seconds pass like lifetimes as other drivers, Guy Edwards, Arturo Merzario, Harald Ertl, and Brett Lunger, dive into the inferno to pull Lauda from the wreckage. He's rushed to hospital, fighting excruciating burns and inhalation injuries. News reports suggest he won't survive the night. He's read his last rites, but for Niki Lauda, surrender is never an option. While Hunt racks up points in Lauda's absence, and everyone assumes the Austrian season is over, Lauda begins one of the most astonishing recoveries in sporting history. 6 awful weeks follow. Bandaged, scarred, still raw with pain, his face marked for life. But inside, the spark that drove him as a champion is still burning. Then, against doctors' advice and the expectations of everyone watching, Lauda returns. The scene is Monza, Italy. With his head swathed in bandages, blood oozing from wounds, and vision still blurred, he straps himself into his Ferrari. No one believes he can finish a race in his condition, yet he finishes 4th. The paddock is silenced in awe. Not only does he survive, but he scores crucial championship points and signals his intent. The fight isn't over. As races unfold through the autumn, Hunt begins to narrow Lauda's lead. Victories for Hunt in Canada and the United States set up an extraordinary finale. Heading into the last round at Fuji Speedway in Japan, Lauda's championship lead is just 3 points. Torrential rain lashes the circuit, turning the Grand Prix into a test of courage and nerve. In agonizing conditions, Lauda, still suffering the after effects of his crash and struggling to blink through rain and injuries, makes a decision that will define his legacy. After 2 laps, he pits and withdraws. Driving was too dangerous, with visibility near zero, and his physical state making survival itself a challenge. James Hunt keeps racing, piling on the pressure, and despite a late pit stop for a puncture, claws his way to 3rd place. He wins the title by a single point. The comeback has ended, but its legend is only beginning. The postscript to 1976 is just as gripping. Lauda's withdrawal in Japan was controversial, especially among some Ferrari insiders, yet the wider world saw something deeper, an act of courage and humanity. Lauda had defied medical science to race again, prioritized life over glory, and still nearly won the title. Many see him as the moral champion of that season. In the years that followed, Lauda would go on to win 2 more world championships, cementing his reputation not only as a master driver but as perhaps the sport's toughest competitor. But what made Lauda's comeback so special? It wasn't just the physical recovery, it was the mental fortitude to return to the cockpit, knowing he faced the same dangers, the grit to race when his body was still healing, and the humility to recognize the limits of his own pursuit. In the hard-nosed world of Formula One, he redefined what was possible for a human being. James Hunt's own role is equally essential to the narrative. His relentless pursuit, his emotional rollercoaster through the year, his own legendary drive in the final drenched laps, all added drama and depth to the story. The Lauda-Hunt rivalry would become immortalized in film, books, and the memories of every racing fan. 1976 was not just about points or races, it was about resilience, sportsmanship, and the human spirit. Lauda's comeback teaches us what it means to confront fear, come back stronger, and achieve greatness under extraordinary circumstances. This was a season where racing was more than speed. It was about survival, courage, and the pursuit of life itself. So, when people speak about the greatest comeback in Formula One, they're thinking of Niki Lauda and the unforgettable events of 1976, the crash, the return, the heartbreak, and the legacy. F1 has seen dramatic swings in the standings over the decades. Kimi Raikkonen, James Hunt, Sebastian Vettel, Lewis Hamilton all have had amazing late-season rallies, yet none capture that raw essence of comeback quite like Lauda's story, a testament to willpower and the indomitable human spirit. From the flames of the Nürburgring to the drenched asphalt of Fuji, from hospital bed to podium, this is more than a racing story. It's an inspiration for anyone facing tough odds in life, a reminder to never give up, to rise again, and to dare to struggle even when so much seems lost. And that is why Niki Lauda's 1976 comeback stands as Formula One's most extraordinary. Even with pain, fear, and the odds stacked against him, he wrote a chapter in motor racing that will never be forgotten. His legend races on every time the grid lines up and engines roar, his spirit at the heart of Formula One's relentless pursuit of greatness.